going to number 1. So I'm here with Camilla, and she is a singer, and she's going to talk to me a little bit about confidence and self-esteem, things like that.
Yeah. So, where should we start? I should probably.
Thank you very much.
I'll probably start by.
Oh yes, please.
Probably start by saying that confidence is a learned skill.
Yeah.
Most people always go, "Oh, you're so confident, you're so confident. It must be natural." It's really not.
It seems very natural.
Yeah, but it's not though. I don't think. I think it's something that happens, and you hone it over time.
Yeah.
I think everyone can learn to be confident. You just have to understand how you come across to people. I think being authentic is really important. Don't try and be somebody you're not.
No.
Because then if you're doing that and trying to come across confident, it can be very...
It's
you
a
can
struggle.
And you can put off a really sort of off-putting vibe. I'm very much about vibes and energy and things like that. And I think if you're doing something purely from a heart point of view, comes across anyway, and your confidence grows, people want to be around you, so that's where you start developing your confidence, because people want to be around you because you're being authentic, you're being your true self, which I think is very, very important.
So do you find certain things are more of a comfort zone for you than others? Like you have to step out of it?
Yes. So being a singer, there are venues that I'm totally comfortable in and confident, like for example the Retreat where I play regularly. That's like home from home, so
anywhere that you've been before?
Yeah. You've got that confidence, and that actually helps building, so you can repeat going to places and giving, that kind of helps you hone those confidence skills. When I do a new venue, for example, I did the Tall Ships Festival very last minute last weekend. I have never been so nervous. I was literally shaking, I felt sick. I actually did a live video from the stage, and you can hear the anxiety in my voice, you can hear my breathing and I was like...
Is it partly excitement, or is it was all anxiety?
I was thinking about it now. I get really bad stage fright, especially in new places.
They do say that makes for a good performance.
It does. I did get very good feedback from that performance, and I think if you're not nervous in some situations, it's because you don't really care about something.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be completely terrified.
No.
But having that slight, it's because you want it to be really good and you want it to go well. So
and you care.
And you care about it. Yeah.
So you've built confidence.
Yeah.
Would you say? Do you have any sort of advice or tips for people who feel very underconfident at the moment? They might have lost their confidence, or they might have never been confident. Yeah. Like, how would you say someone would go about building it to just feel better about themselves?
Okay, so this is taking me quite a long time to get around to. You have to start with yourself and liking yourself, and not really worrying about what people think of you.
Okay, so how do you like yourself if you don't like yourself? How do you start to do that?
Okay, it's not easy. I've struggled with it for quite a while.
Do you do affirmations?
I do affirmations quite a lot. You just have to wake up and kind of try, instead of looking at the things you don't like about yourself and things you don't think you're good at, think about things you are good at.
Focus on the good things.
And the things
Everyone's got some good things.
Everybody has got good things about them. Loads of people go, "Oh, you're so creative, and I wish I could sing." And I'm like, yeah, but I wish I could be more logical and structured and put things into place. I'm totally useless. I'm the most chaotic person ever, and I'm kind of going, I've got all these ideas.
But you embrace that.
Yeah.
And you know that
I'm accepting
you've got plenty of good stuff to give.
Exactly. But it's learning to accept the side of me that some people don't like or don't agree with or whatever, and going, do you know what, that's okay, because I have all of this I really like about myself. I love that my singing and stuff encourages people to let their hair down. I think that for me...
It brings them out of their shell.
Exactly. I call myself an enabler. I enable people to let their hair down and have a good time.
And you teach people to sing as well, don't you?
Not so much, only because I'm not really... I wouldn't class myself... I haven't been professionally trained, so all of my stuff has literally comes from really wanting to do it. But I believe everybody can sing.
Okay.
You just have to kind of let it go. I actually did have a few times with my friends, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not classically trained or anything, so I wouldn't ever try and say I could teach somebody to sing, but I would definitely go through it with. I did it with my friend once, and we lying there, I was like, just breathe and just let it go, and she loved it. She thought it was really great fun, but I think it's definitely, confidence starts coming from an ability to be vulnerable with your own good points and bad points. You just have to be accepting of both sides of you, and not think about what other people think of you.
No, that's important.
And it's really hard.
It can eat you up.
Yeah, it can. And it's really hard not to do it, but it's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself.
Yeah.
If I worried about what everybody thought about me, I would not perform the way that I perform. I would not be up there dancing.
Yeah, you have to throw away those thoughts.
You have to throw it away. You have to just go, do you know what? No. No. Not today.
I mean, some people, you know, for you might get a bit, you've come to the stage where you're performing a lot, so you may get a bit nervous about that thing. Some people can't even go out because they're too nervous to actually go out to a social occasion. You know, do you have any advice that you'd give if someone kind of, you know, was worried about who they're going to see and what are they going to wear? You know, I've got friends who always say, what shall I wear? And, you know, that's a thing where obviously they haven't found enough confidence. I mean, I get it sometimes with some things which are out of my comfort zone. Normally I don't really care as long as I like the things I wear. But there are some times when you feel like it matters more.
I can understand. I've done that. I mean, it's taken me a lot of time to get to where I am now with my crazy clothes. And some people keep saying to me, "You're so edgy," and I'm like, "Am I? I don't see myself
it's
that."
Like it's like a hallmark of you now. You know, you've got your leopard print and your brights and your all that sort of thing, your glittery.
I just literally,
it really suits you.
I just put it on, and if I feel good in it, then I try not to think about what other people think about what I'm wearing. Now I know how hard that is, because I think that's also a skill, because it's also learning to go. I think when you're so nervous and anxious about leaving the house and who you're going to see and what you're going to wear and what people are going to think of you, that's like quite a high stage. That's the wrong term, but I think you've really peaked at having anxiety about and your self-confidence and self-esteem is so low that it's time to look at that. Maybe even with a professional, because you need to start. You've got to come to accept yourself, and I think it's really hard, because with the way social media is now, if you put a picture on Facebook and it doesn't get a certain amount of likes, that can really affect you.
Especially teenagers are taking it very personally.
I can't bear it, because we didn't have that when I was younger. You just kind of got on with it, and you know, it didn't matter how many likes you had, because you didn't have pictures.
Well, you'd go to town when I was young. You know, you'd go to town and you might feel a bit self-conscious if you've chosen the wrong thing, because going to town was important when you were a schoolgirl and you're meeting up with all your friends and boys might see you and things.
But it was never there permanently.
You didn't take photos
permanent
very often.
So you could forget about that day if you didn't wear the right thing or it didn't come across cool. But now, it's the worst thing in the world, which I think is really sad.
It is sad. I
think it is really sad, and I think that's massively affecting self-confidence and self-esteem issues. But I think it's hugely important to start just looking at yourself, trying not to do that. If those sorts of things really affect you, don't put the picture on social media. Have a break from social media.
Don't take the risk
don't
of the possible feeling of rejection.
Because what you need to do is build up on yourself outside of social media and of people's opinions, and get to a point where you're really happy with yourself, and then go back to it, because you won't care whether you get 1 like or 50,000 likes.
And also be around people who you know love
your number one supporters.
Definitely. Because then they'll make you feel good about yourself. Don't kind of venture necessarily into places where you're going to feel like, you know, judged or something.
I mean, I would always recommend having people around you that are like your number one fans. They support you no matter what. They don't care if you've got no makeup on or if you've got all your makeup on.
So close friends and family who just love you as you are.
Exactly, and spend a lot of time with them. And if you do, I think a lot of people don't have the courage to cut out people that are negative towards them, and that's something
Criticise
else.
And bring them down. Some people do it for their own.
To make themselves feel better.
They kind of, you know, criticise other people.
But it has a really bad effect on the person that's receiving that criticism. So
well, on both people, because
it does really, because it's negative self-talk, negative criticism towards people. It's just not a good environment to be in, and it doesn't encourage self-acceptance, being in that kind of environment.
You can get loads of books as well, can't you, on self-development? So
you can,
people who are finding low confidence and things like that, they can find things loads of things on YouTube, and loads of books, and it's okay to do self-development. I mean, it's essential.
It's essential
to do self-development.
It's not
it doesn't mean that
you've
got issues and problems, because everybody
else.
It just means you're doing something about it, which is empowering, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's one of the things I always say on my #BeatTheBlues videos is. It is absolutely essential that you look after your mental health, and that includes confidence, self-esteem is essential. It's not selfish. A lot of people are like, oh, you're supposed to tell yourself. It's really important, because if you don't do that, then you don't have the capability of offering any kind of support to the people around you.
You can't benefit others unless you're in a good place yourself.
Exactly. And people don't realise that, and it's not selfish. 100 times. I'm going to say that until I'm blue in the face. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. It's so important. If anybody even thought about laughing at you for looking after that, then they would be straight out of my life. Because it is really important. And I think all the social media that's going on and the lack of self-esteem and stuff, that is causing a lot of mental health issues. And
I've noticed with social media, there are options to turn off. You can still stay friends with somebody, but you can turn off their notifications. So you don't necessarily. So if people are saying negative things that bring you down, you can just switch off their notifications, and then make sure that your feed is all full of people saying positive things, because that has an effect on your day. We are feeding ourselves with it, whether we like it or not. Most people are looking through Facebook. You know, it's mainly Facebook, isn't it? Twitter's a bit different, and the other ones are more, LinkedIn's more businessy, but
Facebook is massive
affecting. And I think young people with Snapchat, the thing is it disappears after a while. So there's been bullying and things like that on there. So you know, if you're worried about things like that or you're sensitive, perhaps stay away from Snapchat. You know, don't even do it.
I don't even use it.
No.
I don't. It's not my favourite, because I think it is.
Some people like to communicate on there, but you know, I've only got people who I absolutely love on there. But
it's too easy to be bullied on there.
Yeah, definitely guard yourself and protect yourself by making choices.
Yeah, definitely.
Choices that kind of benefit.
I've got, because the thing is, there are people that generally have unfortunately for them, a negative outlook on life. So you do get their news feeds of the very negative things that come through,
moaning and
and you know, this is bad,
being the
that's
victim,
bad, and you know,
and maybe we've all been that.
I think everyone has been there, but you don't need to see everybody else's, because otherwise I think sometimes it allows you to stay in that frame of mind instead of going, no, I'm going to do.
And it's not going to help. You know, moaning and stuff isn't going to help.
No, I think definitely you spread positivity, everyone around you starts to be positive, then you create a positive circle for yourself, because people see, oh, hang on a minute, this is a different way of being, and it's quite nice. And that's what I found recently, in fact, doing that. Even if you are feeling a bit rubbish, try not to put it on social media. Have a day where you go, actually, I'm not going to complain
today. Take some time
for
yourself.
I'm not going to moan about anything that's going on. I'm going to do something nice for myself.
And do some gratitude, because that's always helpful, isn't it?
And also, have you ever tried the forcing a smile thing?
No.
So if you're feeling really like grumpy and unhappy, like literally sit and force a smile on your face, and eventually, you know, after a few like 30 seconds, something happens, and you just go, oh, okay, that's fine, and it feels really good. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of
so you're using those muscles. It's like saying, you know, oh, what is it? Dress for the job you want, not for the job you have.
Yes, exactly. Fake it till you make it. That's another one I like. So the other thing, my biggest tip, the videos I do, the hashtag Beat the Blues, is literally put on a song, an uplifting song. Because I can get carried away in sad songs if I'm really letting myself go down there, but it's very rare. An uplifting song, put it on loud as you can, dance, sing, and you'll feel amazing at the end of it.
You've actually been interviewed about that, haven't you?
On the BBC.
On the radio.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Was it TV or radio?
It was radio, but they put a montage of it online.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Which is just brilliant.
So can people find these Beat the Blues thing? How do they find these?
Oh, okay. So I've got a Facebook page, which is Camilla Lewington, Just Shut Up and Dance. Or on my website, actually, my amazing web guy has put them onto my website, and that's justshutupandance.com.
Okay. We'll put the web link when I post this.
But definitely, I think everyone has the capability of being confident and learning to like themselves as they are.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay. Has it stopped? No.